All right, y'all. So welcome to part two of this Pip Juice indicator training. Part one, I didn't want to make the video of part one too long, so I wanted to go ahead and go into part two. I wanted to show you guys some more examples, and this time I'm gonna show you guys on YM. YM is just basically US 30, and I want to show you guys some examples. But again, if you guys want access to something that can help you earn some passive income, right? I have a gold bot that actually trades for you in the financial markets, right? And as you can see, in March so far, every day has been green. Okay, even February, majority of every day has been green. I mean, this except this red day, it was only $1 lost there. And we started this in January, the last 2 weeks of January, and ever since then, it's just been killing it. All right, these are the results that me and my clients are getting from this gold bot. And if you want something that can also make you money in the financial market, especially if you don't have time to trade or do anything when it comes to trading, this is something that can help you make some money in the financial markets. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back to the charts. Oh yeah, by the way, if you want access to the same exact trading bot, it's only $1,000 at one time. You can do two payments of 500 to get access to this. So that means you pay $500 your first month. I'll go ahead and set you up, and then the following month you just pay the remainder $500. That's if the $1,000 is just too much up front for you. But it's worth every penny, and I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. All right, so let's get back to it. All right, now we're on YM. Okay, let's go ahead and show you guys some more examples. And if you haven't seen part one, I'm gonna leave the link in the description box below that will take you over to part one of this training. But all I'm doing is just using key levels off of this indicator called session volume profile. I'm taking the volume, I'm taking the value area low, the value area high, and the point of control, and I'm making zones out of those key levels. And whenever price sweeps above or below to those levels, I'm looking for a reversal. Okay, and whenever price is either, let's say for instance, price is below the zone, then I'm usually gonna take the buy stop off of the indicator. So this indicator gives you a buy stop and it gives you a sell stop. Okay, so in this case, let's go to this day right here. Well, actually, yeah, let's go to this day down here. Okay, let's actually take this off the chart because I don't want you guys getting confused. But yeah, so as you can see here, let's go here. I use these key levels. The yellow dotted line is just basically called the point of control, which is this is where the most trading volume has taken place. And then also there's a red line here, which is called the value area low, and a green line here that's basically the value area high. So what I do is I just take my rectangle tool and I line these up to make a zone. Okay, and then whenever price comes to this level, majority of the time it likes to reject that level. Okay, so in this case, let's turn on Pip Juice. All right, and since we're actually trading, I mean, we could use London. Let me go here. When it comes to this indicator, you got to make sure, you know, what session you want to trade this in. Do you want to trade it in New York, London, Asian? Right now, I got it on London, but let's just see. Let's see. Usually, I trade like US 30 and New York session, but let's see. Let's see if this works on when it comes to London session. Okay, so this is what I would do here, guys. Let me actually take this off. That way you guys don't get confused. So once I mark up my zone, I take the volume session volume profile off the chart. That way my chart doesn't be cluttered. Okay. So right here, when price came all the way down here, okay, and to be honest with you, I might have to switch it to the New York session. Well, no, not really. Let's look in the past. I mean, if well, let me put that back. So let's say that we're trading US 30 in London session. This is the zone. This is the indicator right here, right? So normally, right? Normally, what I do is, if the zone is down here, way below, past below the sell stop entry, I'm taking the trade for all three TPs. Okay, and the same thing for the upside. Okay, if the zone is up here above these zones here, I'm taking it to the upside. All three, I'm taking all TP3 levels. Okay, so what I would do is I will go ahead and set up a pending order. I will set up a pending order. What time is it? Right here. Where's the sell stop? Right there. Yep, right there. And my stop would be right here. If you're gonna use the indicator, you make sure you stop there. But and then you just target the TP3. And as you can see, TP3 smashed. Okay. Now let me show you guys some more examples here. Let me go over. Let's take this off the chart. Let's see. Normally, like I said, I trade this during New York session, but let's see if we can catch some good moves to the ups. I mean, catch some good moves when it comes to the London session. Okay. So whenever this is London. So whenever price is about to open when it comes to London session, I like to turn on the session volume profile, and I want to see if I can use some key levels. All right, and I see right now I can use this value area low here to this value area low here, and I can just drag it here. And then whenever price comes into these levels, like I said in previous videos, price like to reject those levels. Okay, so if I turn on Pip Juice, and by the way, if you guys want access to the same indicator that I'm using, called Pip Juice, I'm gonna leave a link in the description box below. You can go ahead and join my team. Not only gonna get access to Pip Juice, but you're gonna also get access to 7 other indicators that me and my team are using, plus all of the benefits and tools and softwares from the company that I'm a part of, which is Akashex. Okay, so in this case, right, I wouldn't take this pending order right here because the zone that I have here is not above these TPs, right? So I don't want to set up I don't want to set up a buy pending order. I want to set up a sell, right? I want to set up a sell pending order. So I will set up a pending order here, all right, right there, and then I want to put my stop loss right above that zone, and then I want to target all 3 TPs. Okay, you'd have win in a little drawdown based on the little pullback, but if you had just your stop loss above the zone, and by the way too, I use these zones to put my stop loss above. Okay, but eventually price came back down and hit your TP, and you'd have won right there. Okay, but I hope you guys are getting the picture, because this is how I avoid certain pending orders, like this right here. If I were to set my pending order for a buy, so let's say that the buy stop was right here, right, and this same zone is right here. If you'd have put your let's say this is not the buy stop, but let's just say that I put my stop there and I put my stop loss right here. You would have got stopped out because of this zone right here. Okay, hope that makes sense. But let me show you guys some more examples. So I'm gonna take that off the chart. I'm gonna take this off the chart. And let's see if we can find some more. Remember, the blue box right here is the London session, okay? The blue box is the London session. And then this yellow box right here is the Asian session, okay? So once I see price open up, normally, price likes to sweep the session liquidity. So I'm expecting price to sweep above the previous session, which was the Asian session, when it comes to the session liquidity sweep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my session volume profile, and I'm going to look for an area potentially where price could reject. And I can see it right now. Right here is the level. All I did was just took the rectangle tool, line it up with the value area low from this previous day, and then line it up to the value area high from this day right here. And then I'm gonna just drag it over, right? And as you can see, price likes to come back into these key levels, all right? All I did was just turned it into a zone. That's all I did, okay? And this is a perfect entry. This is a perfect sale. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn back on Pip Juice, and what we're gonna do here is, see, this right here would have avoided. This right here would, this zone right here would have helped you avoid it getting into a. I mean, you would, if it depends on what, like in this situation right here, it all depends on what, if you were targeting TP. If you'd have targeted TP1, you'd have got it. But if you was trying to target TP2 or TP3, right, you would have lost that trade. So this buy stop entry would have been right there. And if you was targeting TP3, right, you would have, and you'd put your stop there somewhere, or somewhere, you would have lost that trade. If you were going for TP2 and TP3, because price never came to TP2 and TP3. If you had your stop loss, I mean your TP at TP1, of course you would have won. All right, but in this situation, since I know that happened, then I would have never put my pin in order for a buy stop there. Okay, maybe for a TP1, and that, matter of fact, this would have been a good entry if you were targeting TP1. If you were targeting TP1, then great, because the zone is above TP1 and TP2. I know TP2 up here, but the zone is above TP1. So that means you can go ahead and target, because you know that price likes to come into these zones. So you could at least, you should already know that you could have probably at least hit TP1 at least if you'd have got into the pending order for a buy stop. Okay, hope that makes sense. But like I said, when it comes to my regular strategy, I would have got in this trade right here for a reversal, because I know price likes to come into these zones and reject it and then go the opposite direction. So what I would have did was I would have looked for a bullish engulfing. I mean, not a bullish engulfing, but a bullish fair value gap. And then I would have waited for price to close below, right? Below. And I would have got in the trade. And I would have put my stop right above that zone there. And I could have caught this whole move if I wanted to, if I was holding the trade. Crazy, right? Crazy, right? You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm going to be making more videos on how I trade my strategy without the indicator, but you can catch some really good, when it comes to my trading strategy, you can catch some really, really good moves in the markets. Okay. So yeah, you would have won that one for a buy stop. Let's take this zone off. Let's look for another position here. Let's take this off. Okay. Remember, I have the pip juice indicator on London, so I'm only looking to look for positions in London. So this whole blue box right here is London session. Okay. So in this case right here, remember what I say. Whenever the current session sweeps above or below the previous session, in this case, London session swept below the previous session, Asian session, then there's a reversal bound to happen. Okay. How do I determine when to start looking for a buy position or reversal? Well, let's turn on the indicator on. Let's see if we can find anything. And I can see right now, right here, I can use this value area high from this day and bring it, the zone, down to the value area high from this day. Okay, you see how I do that? All I'm doing is just taking these key levels that's close, whatever key levels are close, I'm going to just drag it in the session that I'm going to be looking to trade in. And then whenever price gets down here, I know that there's most likely a reversal bound to happen when price gets to this level. Okay. Again, when it comes to my strategy, I know this is about pip juice, but what I usually do is I'm going to look for a bearish fair value gap or a bullish fair value gap, depend. And then once price comes back above, it turns it into a inversion fair value. I mean, it turns it into an inversion fair value gap. So I'm going to get in the trade there. I'm going to put my stop right below here. Okay. And I'm going to take the trade. And you see how powerful, like when it comes to like my strategy, I know, like I said, this is about pip juice, but when it comes to my strategy, I can catch moves like this, okay, based on my reversal strategy. But like I said, this is about pip juice. Let's turn on the pip juice indicator and see where we at. It's all about just knowing where you are in the market, okay? Just all you know. So in this case, let's see if I can bring my replay. I think that would be better. Yeah, I think that would be better. Yeah, if I do the replay too. So yes, as you can see right here, since we have the zone all the way down here, I'm gonna go ahead and target TP3 because I know price likes to come into these key levels. So I can go ahead and place a sell stop pending order towards this zone, and all TPs are before this zone. So I can go ahead and target all TPs. Okay, so I can go ahead and set up a pending order here at the sell stop entry right here, right? And I can target all three key levels here. And if I did that, right, let's go ahead and play it. All right, that trade, that pending order would activate it, and I would have hit TP3. Simple as that. It's that easy. That's how I like. This is how like I'm. This basically just gives me more confidence when it comes to getting in setting up certain pending orders. This is basically gives me a lot of confidence. Okay, so that's a win right there. I would have caught all three. All three. TPs right there when it comes to using this indicator. Okay, now let's look for another. Let's take this off the chart. Let's take that off the chart. Let's take off this on here. But I hope you guys are seeing how powerful this is when it comes to doing marking up your zones and waiting for price to come up into these zones when it comes to these liquidity sweeps. Okay. Now, let's go over here to this day here. Okay, so we have some session liquidity sweeps above and below. So let's go ahead and turn on the session volume profile tool here, and let's just see if we could use. Because see, I already see it right here. So what now? I'm going to mark up a zone from this point of control to this value area low line there, and I'm going to drag it into the session that I'm going to be trading. I'm going to take that off my chart. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn on Pip Juice. Okay. I'm going to turn on Pip Juice. Now, in this situation right here, this would have been iffy. But when it comes to my strategy, I would have took this trade to the sell. But in this case, I probably wouldn't take a buy. I wouldn't probably place a trade or buy stop because price is below this zone here. So I wouldn't ever probably took that trade based on Pip Juice. But when it comes to my strategy, right? When it comes to my strategy, my reversal strategy, I'm going to look for a bullish fair value gap, right? And then once price closed below that bullish fair value gap, it's going to turn into an inversion fair value gap. And then I'll put my stop loss right above that zone there that we created. And I would have took the sell right here. More than enough. More than enough. Especially if you're trading futures, this is more than enough. This is a move that this could be a $500, $1,000 move right here. All right. So when it comes to Pip Juice, we probably wouldn't have took this trade based on what I'm seeing when it comes to price being below the zone here. But when it comes to my strategy, I would have took the trade. But if we go back down here, all right, because price would have been in the U.S. session. Right now, like I said, we got the indicator on the London session, so we have to use it in the London session. Maybe if we was using it in the U.S. session, then yeah, we probably would have took that buy. But let's take this off the trade. Let's look for another position. But just to show you, let's switch it over. Switch it over to the U.S. session, and just to show you, if you were to have it on the U.S. session, right? You could have took that buy. All right, you could have took that buy. Let me have it. As you can see right here, you could have took that buy. All right. As soon as let's do the replay over here. Oops. Damn, now I lost my position. When I use that replay tool, it takes me back. But You get the picture, guys. Where were we? Okay, I think we was right here. Well, it was in U.S. session. Let's put on our tool back on. And I lost where we at. I lost where we was at. Okay, we was right here. Okay, so you could have caught the trade if you had it on the U.S. session. You could have had your pending order here. Put your stop below there, and you could have target TP3. You would have want that. Okay, simple as that. But let's put it back on the London session because I want to show you guys like you can catch some really good moves in London session. All right, so let's take this off. Okay. Now, let's look at this day right here. Okay, so we know. I think we already looked at that day. Let's come over here. So let's take this off. So let's look at this day right here. We're gonna turn on our session volume profile here. Okay, and then I'm gonna look for a previous day that we can, or previous day that we can look at. I'm thinking that we could. Dang, I just lost where I was at. I think we was here, right? Yeah, we was here. So what we could do is, what we could have did was, we could have probably taken this level here, right? Taking this level here. But then again, there's no levels there. So what we could have did was, if I don't see anything, what I could do is I can line this up with the bottom of the London session when back in this day here. Boom. Now we have a zone here. Okay. So now I'm not looking to take any sell stops beyond this point right here. Okay. Let's turn on the pip juice on. Now you could have took it, but it's kind of iffy because when it comes to price already at a zone like this, it's, you don't want to risk it because price could have did something like this. Soon it tapped into that zone, it could have just went up. But you could definitely target TP1 or TP2. If in this type of case right here, when price is already at the zone, if I'm going to take the trade, I'd rather take the trade to only TP1. Okay, but you would have caught TP2. Now, when it comes to my strategy, my reversal strategy, now I would have took this trade to the upside because remember, whenever price sweeps below, right? In this case, London session swept below the Asian session, right? That's a liquidity session sweep right there. So that means price majority of the time will start reversing back up to the upside. So again, what I would do is once price come into the zone, I'll mark up my bearish fair value gap there, and I'll wait for price to close above that, and it will turn it into a inversion fair value gap, right? I would have got in the trade there, put my stop right there, below that zone there, and then I could have caught this whole move if I wanted to. As simple as that. This is how I catch some really good moves based on my own strategy. And like I said, I'm going to be making some more videos on just teaching you my strategy without the indicator. But these are the type of moves that I can catch when it comes to my trading strategy. Okay. But yeah, let's go ahead and find some more examples here. Let's take that off. But you see how powerful this is when it comes to lining up, marking up your zones from this indicator. So we're going into this day here, right? So what I would do is I would look and see if I can find any, levels that I can create a zone. I can create a zone right here based off of this this value area high and this value area low, this red line here, and I will drag it into the session that I'm looking to trade in. And then whenever price gets into this level, right, I'll take this session volume profile off, turn the pip juice on, and me personally, price is nowhere even near this buy stop entry. So I wouldn't even set up a buy stop entry up here. It wouldn't even it wouldn't even make sense because you got the zone here. Price likes to come into these zones and reverse. So, don't even set a buy stop pending order there, right? This is how you can like literally just avoid, putting on certain pending orders, right? This right here would avoid you from putting a buy stop pending order here, all right? But price never also even came down to the sell stop entry down here in the London session or even in the New York session. So as you can see, price never really came down there. But this is where I would have put my sell stop pending order there. But again, I gotta say it. When it comes to my trading strategy, without using the indicator, right? I would have took this trade to the downside. What I would have did was, once price comes up here, I would have put look for a bullish fair value gap, and then once price closes above that bullish fair value gap, it turns into an inversion fair value gap. I would have put my stop right above there, and literally I would have caught this whole move right here to the downside. I'm telling y'all, my trading strategy can help you pass prop firm challenges, but this indicator, pip juice, can also help you pass prop firm challenges. This is what this video is about. This video is not about my trading strategy, but I just wanted to put that in there. So now let's do 2 more examples. Okay, let's go. Let's see if we can find another example during London session. Okay, so we see a session sweep right here. London session swept the Asian session here. What we could do is we could turn on our session volume profile indicator here, and then look for a potential zone. So what we could have did was we could have used this value area low, this red line right here, and then from that day, and then you bring it down to the value area high from this day here, and drag it into the session that you're going to be trading in. Okay, in this case, we're trading in a London session. We can take that off since we already got our zone there, and then now we can turn on pip juice. Okay, and right here, right, I wouldn't even set a sell stop pending order here. All right, maybe you would have got that if you would. And again, guys, we're trading US 32 as well, and not only that, we're trading in London's. I got it on the London session. Maybe you'll see more wins during the New York session, but this is the London session, okay? But I wouldn't even set my pending order here. Why? Why would I want to set my pending order here? Right? And price is already at a zone right here. Why would I do that? Especially I wouldn't target, I wouldn't even target TP. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't even do this because price is above at the time. Price is above this zone right here. Price did just like this, came right into the zone and shot up. So this right here would have avoided me in putting a sell stop entry here. This would have avoided me right here. This would have avoided me doing that. Okay. Now, when it comes to my strategy now, don't worry, guys. I'm going to be making more videos about my strategy, but this is a perfect entry for me when it comes to actually getting in a buy position. Okay. So what I would have did was, right, I would have looked for, let me take this off the trade here. Okay. I would have looked for, in this case, I don't see well, I do see one right here. I don't see a clear bearish fair value gap, but I would set up a breaker block. Okay, so low, high, low. Right here is a breaker block right here. I'll talk more about that in another video, but this is a breaker block. Once price closes above that breaker block, I'll get in there, put my stop right there, and you could have caught this move right here to the upside. See how simple that my strategy is? You can catch some really good reversals when it comes to my strategy. But let's go back to pip juice. And this is London session, guys. So you see how certain trades you can avoid, certain pending orders you can avoid that day, But like I said, you can also just, if you don't want to do all this stuff, you can just set up pending orders for a buy stop sell stop. But if you want to go the extra mile and make sure and just make sure that you know where you are, and you can, if you want, you can avoid certain trades. Then this, by doing this, can help you do that. Okay, so let's look in this London session. Okay, again, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn on the session volume profile here, and I'm gonna look for a potential. In this case, we could have used this point of control from this day to this point of control for this day, and then we can draw it in the future. You see how powerful this is? Okay, and we can go ahead and take this off. Okay, and as you can see, price came up into the zone, and guess what? It came right into it and reject. Happens a lot. Happens a lot in the markets. Okay, so once that happens, let's turn on the indicator here. Now, since price is below this zone right here, I'm going to target TP3. Okay, I'm going to target TP3. So I'm going to set my pin. So in this case, in this day, I would have set my pending order here, and I would have targeted TP3. As simple as that. And you would have won that trade because price is way below the zone here. And then also buy stop, the buy stop TP3 is right at the zone. So you can take that trade, take that pending order. All right, place that pending order there because TP3 is right at that zone. All right, so you would want that trade right there. That's how I like to use this indicator. I like to wait. I like to see price below it or above, depending on what direction I'm going in. If the zone is above the TPs, I'm going for it. If we get in a sell stop and the price is above or the zone is below these TPs, I'm getting the trade. Okay. So that's a win right there. So let's look for another one. Let me go ahead and take that off the chart. Let's go ahead and take this off the chart. Let's take this off the chart, and let's look for another position in London session. All right. Now, sometimes you can take the trade without looking for a session sweep. What you could do is you can. I'm not gonna get into that because that'll be a whole another topic there. But what I would do is let's actually turn this back on, the session volume profile on, right? And what you could have did was, let's see. In this case, you can use this line right here. Boom. And that right there would have been your zone. And literally, if we take this off, you could have probably caught a short move to the downside right here. So let's turn on the indicator here. Let's see where we at. So in this case, right here, this is the zone right here. I didn't draw it out, but this is the zone right here. I would have never took this this buy stop. I would have never even placed. Price was not even close to it. But if the zone was above it, I would have took it. But price is not even nowhere near. The zone is nowhere near, or even price is not even near the buy stop entry here. So I wouldn't even do that. And in this case, in London session, price never really came down here either. But when it comes to my strategy, guys, my reversal strategy, let's take this off. I would have marked out my buys, my bullish fair value gap, and then I would have took the trade, a short move to the downside, a reversal, and then you could have just took it there. Simple as that. Okay. All right. I'm gonna show you one more example. Let's see if we can find another one here. I might do another part. I might do a part 3 because we did this. Remember, guys, we did this on London session. All right. Typically when I trade US 30, NAS 100, or S&P 500, I like to change it to New York. Okay. But I'm showing you guys exactly how you can use it also in London session. So let's look for another position here. All right. So this is London session. And what I would do, turn on the session volume profile here. And I'm going to drag my mouse over in the past and see what key levels that I could use. And I see it right now. I could use this point of control from this day and drag it all the way down to this point of control from this day. And I can just drag that over. And as you can see, if we take that off, price came into this the zone and rejected it. Okay. You could have caught a major move to the downside. A major move to the downside. So let's turn our pip juice indicator on. Okay. This right here would have saved you some time, and don't even save you some time with not placing a buy stop entry. Okay. You're not looking for a buy stop entry. Okay. Now you could do a sell stop entry, and you would have want that if you'd have had your your sell stop entry right here. Okay. And you would have target TP3. Okay. I would have put my stop above here, this zone here, just in case price come into that zone. Because you don't want to have a stop loss this short or whatever. You would have got stopped out if price would have came up to that zone. But if you'd have put your stop there, you would have been safe, and you would have caught this whole move to the downside for TP3, sell stop TP3. You would have won that. Now, if I was using my strategy, my own trading strategy without the indicator, right? In this case, I would look for a bullish fair value gap. In this case, here's a bullish fair value gap right there. Once price closed below that bullish fair value gap, I'm entering the trade, putting my stop right above there, the current session high, and literally, bro, I could have caught this whole move for the reversal. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I do that. Crazy, right? Crazy. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make part 3, show you guys some more examples, because I want you guys to get the picture on what I'm doing. All I'm doing is just marking out my zones from this session volume profile using different key levels and creating area of interest, and just basically waiting for price to sweep into it or below to it, and then wherever pip juice indicator is at, if it makes sense, I'll go ahead and place the pending order based on that. So again, if you guys want access to this same trading bot that I'm using, which has been creating some amazing results for me and my clients, it's only a one-time fee of $1,000. You can do 2 payments of $500, and I'll go ahead and get you set up with this gold bot. But this gold bot has been insane when it comes to the amount of profits that we've been making from it. So with that being said, I'm Andre Ketna here from West Palm Beach, Florida. I will see you guys on part 3.